What unfolds when the individual who created a boat rental empire from the ground up discovers he's disconnected from the happenings at the docks? Quentin Harlow lingered in the back office of his headquarters, gazing at a series of spreadsheets that failed to provide the insights he sought. With 13 locations and record summer bookings, a few complaints began to surface, not regarding prices or boats, but concerning the quality of service. Vessels unprepared at the scheduled hour. The staff appeared to be under a great deal of pressure. There's nobody here to lend a hand. His assistant attempted to brush it off as new hires still finding their footing, some employees on vacation, just the usual summer frenzy. Yet Quentin adhered to a principle. If he received the same type of complaint more than 3 times, he refrained from requesting reports. He personally made the trip. He chose Store 7, the lakeside spot, roughly 2 hours away, typically one of the favorites. It had been 4 years since he last set foot there, back when it first opened its doors. None of the staff had encountered him face to face. Many assumed that the chain was under the control of an anonymous investment entity. The veil of anonymity was a true blessing. He removed his beard, darkened his hair, swapped his typical button-up for worn cargo shorts and a sun-faded t-shirt. His title for the week: Rick, a fresh recruit, has moved over from a recently shuttered site. He even arranged for someone at HQ to call ahead, posing as a district representative, to alert the manager that a lackadaisical trainee was on their way. Manage your expectations, the deceptive call advised. Simply ensure he stays out of sight. As Quentin stepped onto the rental dock that Monday morning, the warmth shimmered above the lake's surface. The gravel lot was dotted with a dozen parked cars, while a family engaged in a spirited debate with a drowsy teenager at the front counter regarding a reservation. Within the establishment, the manager, a robust individual named Todd, donned sunglasses despite the lack of sunlight and scarcely lifted his gaze from his phone. "Are you the new guy?" Todd inquired. "Indeed, Rick," Quentin remarked. "Fine. Just go. Track down Cody. He'll demonstrate the art of mopping or something similar." Todd dismissed him with a wave and redirected his focus to the screen before him. Cody appeared as a sunburned 20-year-old, his hands marked with oil, crouched by the docks as he replaced a broken fuel line on a pontoon boat. "Cody, is that you?" Quentin inquired. Cody rose to his feet with deliberate slowness. "Indeed, you are. The new trainee, Rick." Cody cleaned his hands and gave a nod. "Okay, let's get those rags. I need to wrap this up before the 11 o'clock reservation." Quentin trailed behind, observing Cody as he worked with a focused intensity, inspecting bolts, securing hoses and cleaning seats with meticulous care. He maintained a steady pace, neither hurrying nor pausing in his progress. "What is the number of individuals employed in maintenance here?" Quentin inquired. Cody kept his gaze fixed downward. "It was just me." Quentin blinked. "Is it really just you handling all these boats?" "Indeed, there were 2 of us, but the other individual departed 3 weeks ago. They mentioned that another person would be sent." Not once. Quentin surveyed his surroundings. A minimum of 15 boats were moored at the dock. Some appeared completely fresh. Some appeared to be more seasoned and required assistance. "Did you receive any assistance from Todd?" Quentin inquired. Cody let out a derisive snort. Todd remains ensconced in his office, only emerging when voices rise in urgency. He claims that maintenance falls outside his responsibilities. A sudden, resounding splash broke the silence. A bunch of teens had just borrowed a jet ski, completely unprepared with no life jackets in sight. No one at the dock had intervened. "Shouldn't that have been verified?" Quentin inquired. Cody let out a deep breath. Indeed, they are expected to touch base with Todd, yet he remains within the confines of the AC. Quentin assisted Cody in transporting a cumbersome battery from the shed. Within the confines of the small room, an abundance of supplies filled the space, yet a sense of chaos prevailed. Cables haphazardly thrown into bins, tools strewn about without care. "Do you ever find yourself with a moment to grab lunch?" Quentin inquired while they polished the next vessel. Cody chuckled. "Shall we grab some lunch? I enjoy nibbling on crackers in the shed whenever I find a moment to spare." By noon, Quentin's shirt clung to him, drenched in sweat. 2 vessels encountered. Engine troubles. A family arrived, seething with anger over the unclean state of their boat. Cody offered an apology and hurriedly attempted to rectify the situation while Todd remained at the counter, engrossed in his phone. Quentin had witnessed more than enough. He observed a customer stumble over a loose dock plank, prompting Cody to dash over with a first aid kit as Todd shouted from inside, "Make sure they complete a waiver." That evening, Quentin reclined in his motel bed, fixated on the spinning ceiling fan. His back throbbed with discomfort, his hands ached with fatigue, but mostly he felt a deeper sense of guilt. He established this company from the ground up, personally scrubbing boats in the initial stages. Meanwhile, a young person fresh out of high school was managing everything on their own, while I lounged in the cool air, scrolling through TikTok. Quentin understood his course of action. However, he needed to observe the unfolding events when the pace quickened, extremely occupied. By Thursday, the lakefront buzzed with activity as the 4th of July weekend approached, bringing a surge of eager vacationers. The gravel lot was filled to capacity by 8:30. Families unpacked their coolers. Children zipped between vehicles, while exasperated couples rested against the counter, their annoyance palpable due to the hold-ups. Quentin, still Rick, began the day by scraping algae from the hull of a long-forgotten catamaran. The scrub brush was missing half of its bristles, and the cleaning solution had been diluted. Cody was drenched in sweat, immersed in the engine compartment, working to unravel the mystery of a stuttering ignition. The child hadn't even had coffee. Within the confines of the office, Todd snapped at a young employee, a girl named Elise, who had recently come back from assessing the life jacket inventory. The inspection log has been filed under J once more. It falls under I for inspection. How many times must I repeat myself? Elise's demeanor stiffened. I was merely adhering to the approach Michelle took last week. That is what she conveyed to me. Is Michelle not around then? I exist. Make sure to get it done properly. Todd kept his gaze fixed, merely gesturing her off with a dismissive wave of his hand. Quentin locked eyes with Elise. She averted her gaze swiftly and exited, tugging her sleeves down over her arms despite the sweltering heat nearing 90 degrees. He trailed behind her, stepping out into the shelter of the awning. "Are you okay?" he inquired, maintaining a subdued tone. She paused for a moment, then gave a slight nod, her jaw clenched tightly. She simply expressed her fatigue. "Are you employed full-time?" "This week, I dedicated 42 hours. However, I was reassigned from dock duty to take over at the front, as Todd mentioned that having 2 floaters wasn't necessary." She bitterly mimicked the air quotes. "Here I am, managing irate customers while he indulges in games on his phone." A sharp whistle sliced through the silence. Cody stood at the dock, waving with a charred spark plug in hand. Quentin made his way over with a lively step. "That's the 3rd one this week," Cody remarked. "Once again, they're using subpar fuel." I informed Todd, yet he remarked that fuel is simply fuel. These older engines simply can't handle that nonsense. Quentin immersed himself in the role. "Do you believe it might harm the engine in the long run?" "It has indeed." Cody flung it into a bucket filled with abandoned plugs. "That pontoon is bound to throw a rod before August." A piercing voice cut through the air. "Hey, this is really dirty." A man clad in casual shorts and sleek wraparound sunglasses lingered on the dock, gesturing toward the deck of his newly assigned boat. "We invested in a premium rental, yet the seats are sticky," prompting Quentin to step forward. "I sincerely apologize, sir. We will address it immediately." The man squinted, his gaze sharpening with intensity. "Is it you who manages this place?" "No, just the team. Then find me someone who is." Todd sauntered over 5 minutes later, his sunglasses firmly in place, casually sipping from a fast food cup. "What seems to be the problem?" The customer erupted in a passionate outburst. Todd remained silent, offering no interruptions or gestures, simply biding his time until the man concluded. "I'll give you a 10% discount," he stated matter-of-factly, "if you cease your shouting." 10, the man erupted. "This is a $400 rental," Todd shrugged. "Accept it or reject it. There are others who are waiting." The man marched away, pulling his wife and children along with him. The children appeared to be feeling quite self-conscious. Quentin glanced over at Todd. Cleaning the boat could be beneficial for the next customer. Todd dismissed him with a wave. No worries, they'll be fine. By mid-afternoon, Quentin had assisted Cody in replacing a battery, tidying up 2 boats, and bringing refreshments to a stranded party barge. Todd had vanished without a trace. Elise moved towards him with a soft, deliberate grace. "Rick," she murmured, casting a quick look behind her. "May I pose a question to you?" "Absolutely. Is it typical for a manager to reduce hours from someone's paycheck if they exceed the allotted break time?" Quentin scowled. "Could you clarify what you mean? I took a 22-minute lunch break yesterday. Today I received a timesheet reflecting just 6.5 hours. I spoke with Todd, and he mentioned that next time I should avoid wandering off for half an hour. Have you had a conversation with headquarters?" She gently shook her head. "I wish to maintain my position. This position is essential for me." Quentin felt a constriction in his chest. He recalled the days of his youth, surviving on meager tips and the remnants of paychecks. He recalled the initial instance when someone in management attempted to cut his hours. He had taken a stroll. However, not all were able to. As dusk settled in, the sun sank behind the hills, and the final boat of the day creaked into the dock, its engine sputtering. Quentin spotted Todd on the back porch, casually puffing on a vape pen. "Do you have a moment?" Quentin inquired. Todd scrutinized him from head to toe. "Is it Rick, then? Are you still around? I'm curious if you'd prefer me to continue with dock work tomorrow, or assist at the front desk, as it seems like it will be quite busy." Todd released a slow breath. "Your time is running out. Don't dwell on it too much." "I simply want to assist," Todd said, tilting his head. "Sometimes it's best to refrain from asking questions. Your purpose isn't to mend anything. Your role is to maintain the cleanliness of the floors and ensure that Cody remains motivated to stay on board." Quentin nodded slowly, acknowledging the moment. "Understood." The following morning, Quentin showed, up an hour ahead of the opening time. Cody was already present, crouched next to a trailer hitch attempting to connect a backup battery to a jet ski. "You spent the night here?" Quentin inquired. "No transportation available to get home. The bus ceased operations after 10. I thought I might just settle down in the shed." While Quentin looked at him intently, he spoke softly. "You won't be staying here again." "Not yet, another night." A sudden, jarring noise broke the silence. Elise let a metal clipboard slip from her grasp. Her complexion was ashen. "Todd just informed me that I won't have Saturday off," she said, her voice trembling. "I asked for it 2 months back. My sister is tying the knot, and Cody is taking a stand. He pulled the same stunt with Brandon last month, claiming that approved time off doesn't equate to a guarantee," as Quentin tightened his jaw in frustration. "All right," he stated, his tone steady. "I've witnessed enough." He strode directly into the office. Todd sat back, indulging in his meal from a crinkly paper bag, his feet casually propped up on the desk. "Hey, Rick, there's been a spill on Dock 3. Could you please grab a mop?" Quentin advanced and closed the door softly behind him. Todd blinked. "I'm not Rick." "Greetings. I am Quentin Harlow. This company is mine." Todd's lips parted ever so slightly, yet silence enveloped him. "I've been observing the way you manage this place, the absence of supervision, the shortcuts taken, the treatment of the staff. It all ends here." Todd rose deliberately. "Wait a minute, you can't just dock hours without proper authorization and disregard safety protocols. My approved leave has been denied, and I possess statements from 3 employees, along with my own observations." Todd's cheeks turned a deep shade of red. "This situation has been misinterpreted. Your involvement ends now, effective immediately. I want to talk to the higher-ups. You're looking at them." Quentin stepped out onto the dock. Cody and Elise lifted their gaze as he emerged into the bright sunlight. In the team meeting, he remarked, they assembled near the shed, accompanied by several dock hands who had recently come in. "I'm Quentin, and I launched this venture 15 years ago with just a single pontoon boat and a folding chair. In recent days, I've witnessed occurrences that do not embody the essence of the company I created." He surveyed his surroundings. "You have all been maintaining this space amidst burdens that were never yours to bear, and that stops now." Elise blinked quickly, visibly attempting to comprehend. As of today, Todd has been let go. I've already contacted interim management, and they will arrive by this afternoon. Meanwhile, I'll be remaining on site, Quentin said as he turned to Cody. A complete maintenance crew will be at your service by next week. Effective immediately, you are now the lead tech. Increase your current rate, and you'll assist me in selecting the new hires. Cody parted his lips only to seal them once more. Elise, Quentin continued, your Saturday off is back on, and I will personally take a look at your last 3 pay cycles. She nodded, stunned, as she realized that any theft would be rectified with a bonus. There's much to address, but I won't depart until it's complete. The crew fell into a brief silence. Then Cody nodded, acknowledging the command. All right, let's get to work, he said, ready to dive in. By Sunday morning, the atmosphere was heavy with warmth and unease. Quentin rested against the doorframe of the back office, observing as the parking lot gradually filled once more. The interim manager, a slender, gentle-voiced woman named Dana, was expected later that day, but for the moment, he was managing the workload with a minimal team. Cody had shown up early once more, not out of necessity, but out of a desire to ensure that the generator for the pontoon charges was operational. Quentin silently approached, reaching for the socket wrench nestled within the open toolbox. Have you managed to catch any genuine rest? Quentin inquired as he secured a bolt with precision. 4 hours, an improvement, Cody responded, his tone steady. Honestly, I don't mind the effort. It's reassuring to know that someone is supporting us now. Quentin offered a subtle nod, though his thoughts wandered far beyond the present moment. He had gone through the incident logs from last month overnight and noticed that several entries were completely absent. Among those present, half were merely marked with a check, lacking any accompanying notes or details. That revealed all he required to understand Todd's approach to risk management. He had not. An elderly couple made their way to the dock, their expressions reflecting a sense of hesitation. Quentin recalled the woman's name from a complaint form submitted just a week prior, regarding her reservation that had been abruptly cancelled, leaving her to drive 2 hours in vain. He approached, clipboard clutched firmly in his grasp. Greetings of the day. You must be the Goldsteins, I presume. The woman nodded with a hint of hesitation. I would like to extend my sincere apologies for the events that transpired last week. Your boat is ready, completely stocked and spotless, with a complimentary upgrade at no extra cost today. Her husband blinked. Are you really serious? Quentin acknowledged with a nod. All of it. As they strolled toward the dock, Elise appeared from the office, clutching a pile of signed waivers, her bun loosening in the process. What's the status on the Saturday shift coverage? He inquired. 2 part-timers from another site are scheduled to arrive next week. Dana arranged it, she mentioned. Weekends will be rotated. I will provide training on the front desk system. A sudden, jarring scraping noise reverberated from the far end of the dock, interrupting his impending response. Cody crouched next to the small aluminum fishing boat, his jaw clenched. Quentin strolled over. What transpired? The prop shaft is distorted. It seems that a submerged rock was struck yesterday and the incident went unreported. They departed before I had the chance to inspect the hull. Is it possible to repair it? Cody replied, Not today. I need to remove it from the waterline and swap out the shaft. It could be ready for use by Tuesday. This marks the 3rd return, with damage we've encountered this week. 4th, if you include the damaged ladder on the speedboat. Quentin let out a breath through his nostrils. Such deterioration didn't occur in an instant. It became evident that returns had not been thoroughly examined for weeks. A cluster of teenagers strolled by, their laughter ringing out excessively, one of them clutching a speaker that pumped out music at full volume. Quentin observed them as they boarded a boat, seemingly unbothered by the absence of life jackets. Wait, a moment, he said, approaching them. Have you completed your check-in? One of them remarked that they shared their name with the girl inside. Where can I find your jackets? In the trash, another one sighed. They are unnecessary for us indeed, Quentin remarked. Each passenger receives one without exception. It's mandated by state legislation. They sighed, but acquiesced. As they drove away, Cody leaned in closer. Those individuals have visited this place previously. Todd used to allow them to do as they pleased, claiming they were regulars. Quentin remained silent. There was no necessity for him to do so. The atmosphere in the office was charged with tension. Elise juggled 2 phone lines as she organized wristbands. After she ended the call, she faced Quentin. A customer has reported being charged twice last month and is requesting a manager to return their call. Pass the information along to Dana when she arrives. In the meantime, please inform them that we are currently assessing our billing practices and will ensure everything is corrected. She paused, uncertainty flickering in her mind. Should I bring up the audit? No, not unless they inquire. She acknowledged and returned to her tasks. By noon, Quentin found himself back on the dock, assisting in securing a return jet ski. The rider, a man in his 40s sporting mirrored sunglasses and a sunburned nose, dismounted and silently threw the key fob at Cody. "Hey," Cody began, but the man was already striding away. Quentin met him at the gate. "Sir," he replied calmly, "we kindly request that keys be returned directly to the desk, rather than being tossed at our staff." The man pivoted with deliberate slowness. "Are you really serious?" "I exist." The man let out an exasperated sigh. "This place has lost its edge." He departed in silence, leaving no further remarks behind. Cody walked over, his expression showing annoyance. He remarked that certain individuals believe they possess the lake. Quentin cast a quick look at the jet ski, a deep gash stretched along the surface. Cody remarked, "That wasn't there this morning." Quentin captured an image and recorded it. Upon re-entering, they discovered Dana at the front desk, immersed in her review of the files. She raised her gaze. "Quentin, we must have a conversation." They entered the storage closet to evade the hustle and bustle of customers. Dana mentioned that she has reviewed the scheduling and payroll for the past 2 months. Todd was modifying shift records. Numerous employees were registering their hours, yet only a fraction of the time was being recorded. There's no documentation. He was executing it manually via the system override. Is it possible to confirm the outstanding balances? Indeed, I've begun gathering the amounts for back pay. Elise is entitled to a minimum of 20 hours. Cody seems to be missing nearly 30, Quentin acknowledged with a nod. Focus on making corrections a priority. Whatever they deserve, I want it dispersed. Along with a gratitude bonus, Dana hesitated. There's more to it. A discernible pattern exists in the scheduling. The part-timers who were not white rarely received weekend shifts. One girl, Alana, received just 1 Saturday all month, even though she was the most seasoned on the roster. Quentin's jaw clenched. She has departed from this place. She resigned last week. No exit interview conducted. Locate her. I wish to extend an offer to her once more, accompanied by a written apology and complete compensation for any hours she was deprived of. Dana nodded in agreement. I'm currently in the process of addressing it. They emerged back into the open air. Quentin surveyed the dock. Elise assisted an elderly gentleman into the boat, carefully fine-tuning the straps of his life jacket with a gentle touch. Cody wiped down the bench, his movements deliberate as the limp from an old soccer injury became more pronounced after a long shift. Quentin glanced over at Dana. How is the recruitment effort progressing? Interviews are scheduled for Tuesday. I have resumes from 2 marine technicians and a retired Coast Guard officer seeking part-time dock positions. Excellent. We require individuals who grasp the importance of safety. She gave a slight nod. We will arrive at our destination. As twilight descended, Quentin strolled alongside Cody along the dock, the sun sinking behind the hills and stretching elongated shadows across the water's surface. Have you ever considered pursuing certification? Quentin inquired. What are you certified in? Marine mechanics. Your intuition is already in place. With a bit of structured education, you could oversee maintenance for the entire area. Cody rubbed the back of his head thoughtfully. I never imagined I would be engaged in this for more than just a couple of summers. Quentin paused and turned his gaze toward him. You excel in it and you have a genuine concern. Such a combination is quite uncommon. If you're willing, I can take care of the expenses for your program. Once you complete this, we will elevate your profile and increase your compensation once more. Cody remained silent for a moment. Why should it be me? Since you took the initiative to address the issues yourself, you maintained the operation when others had given up. Cody gazed across the shimmering expanse of the water. Quentin nodded once, affirming his decision to proceed. It belongs to you. They lingered in quietude for a moment more, the lake serene in its stillness around them. For the first time all week, the atmosphere seemed to be regaining its pulse, not due to policies or systems, but because the right individuals were finally being empowered to take the helm. The subsequent week ushered in a distinct change in the ambiance at the lakeside setting. The recent surge in hiring resulted in the addition of 2 new support staff members. Marcus, a former marine technician known for his calm and methodical demeanor, and Joel, a retired Coast Guard petty officer whose quiet authority quickly established her as a valuable asset on the dock. Dana had emphasized from the very beginning that they weren't merely filling gaps, they were forging ahead, yet the transformation didn't happen overnight. The voids created by Todd's mismanagement were significant. The equipment continued to lag behind on necessary repairs, and the challenge of realigning customer expectations, influenced by weeks of inadequate service, proved to be a daunting task. On Tuesday, a customer showed up with a dog and 2 toddlers, only to discover that their boat was not fueled. Joel, without uttering a word of reproach, offered the woman bottled water for the children and managed the clipboard, observing quietly how swiftly minor issues resolved when someone took responsibility. Within the confines of the office, Elise was guiding one of the newcomers through the intricacies of the reservation system. Without having sorted out, Dana elevated her position to front desk lead and increased her hourly wage. Quentin observed the transformation, not only in her demeanor, but also in the way others showed her respect. She had stopped seeking approval to make changes. She was accomplishing it. Cody, in the meantime, began establishing a modest maintenance log station near the supply shed. It wasn't elaborate, just a whiteboard and a clipboard, yet it was well structured. Every vessel now possessed its unique checklist. Marcus assisted him in creating a straightforward method for monitoring wear, and together they identified 3 vessels for exclusive dock use until the necessary parts were received. Quentin lingered nearby, observing as they examined the most recent list. "You both collaborate effectively," he remarked. Cody gave a slight nod. "Marcus has an exceptional understanding of engines. Every day, I find myself gaining more insights from him than I did over the previous months." Marcus remained focused on the checklist, his attention unwavering. The child had a keen sense of intuition, simply requiring support from someone to believe in him. Quentin glanced over at Cody. "Are you still interested in that certification program?" Cody cast a quick look at the whiteboard, his name already inscribed there. "Commences next month," Quentin offered a fleeting smile. "Excellent. That will create opportunities beyond this harbor." That afternoon, Dana caught sight of Quentin by the paddleboard racks and waved him over. She grasped a printed report in one hand and a manila folder in the other. "The payroll corrections have been completed. The back pay, along with the bonuses, has been processed," he acknowledged with a nod. "Are there any problems?" "None. However, there is an additional aspect to consider. Do you recall Alana, the dockhand who decided to leave?" Dana carefully opened the folder. "She received our message, reached out to me yesterday and mentioned that she had been employed at a marina on the other side of the lake. She mentioned that she never expected to hear from us again. She is returning. Her journey begins on Friday." She expressed a readiness to try again, but only on the condition that her significance is acknowledged this time around. As they discussed, a weathered delivery van came to a halt near the back lot. The driver emerged from the vehicle and approached them, clipboard in hand. Delivery for Store 7. Shipment of parts. Cody stepped out of the shed, his hands clean, and ready for the next task. "I placed an order for Marcus bilge pumps, carburetors, and new spark plugs." The driver gave a slight nod, looking for a signature. As Cody signed off, Dana softened her tone. "Cody has been arriving every morning before opening, yet he doesn't seem to be exerting himself as he once did. He's taking his time now." Quentin asserted that he must. That distinguishes mere existence from true leadership. The following morning, Quentin convened a staff meeting beneath the awning by the dock. The whole team assembled. Dockhands, desk staff, Joel, Marcus, and even the fresh recruits who had just completed their orientation. Quentin stood at the center, gripping a neatly folded sheet of paper. He started by expressing a desire to recognize something. This platform experienced weeks of turmoil, and still you all remained present. You ensured the safety of your customers. You repaired damaged machinery. You supported one another in times when leadership fell short. Silence enveloped the room, yet a handful of employees shared knowing looks. I wish to express my sincerity. As well, the failure originated at the highest level, not merely due to a poor manager, but because of my own actions. I allowed this place to fade away. I relied on reports rather than on individuals. He took a moment, allowing the quiet to envelop the space. That will not occur again. He carefully opened the paper. This month marks the beginning of a monthly feedback loop for all employees here. This indicates direct communication with both Dana and me. Feel free to remain unnamed if that suits you better. You will assist in directing the hiring process, enhancing equipment, and managing schedules. The outcomes of our choices are yours to bear. Your perspective matters in these matters. A handful of heads inclined in agreement. Elise folded her arms, her attention keenly focused. Next, I'm initiating a development track that spans multiple locations. If you're looking to advance, we can guide you on the journey, whether it involves certification, leadership development, or opportunities in regional positions. Cody cast a sidelong look at Marcus, who responded with a subtle nod. And finally, Quentin remarked, "This dock is now the pilot site for our new safety initiative. Joel will take the helm. All team members will undergo training in emergency response, conduct equipment checks, and engage in incident logging. Not solely due to legal obligations, but because it safeguards one another." Joel advanced a bit. "This weekend marks the beginning without any exceptions." Quentin meticulously folded the paper once more. "This place is no longer thriving. It's in the process of reconstruction. You truly deserve that." Following the meeting, with the sun ascending and customers starting to arrive, the team dispersed into hushed groups to get ready. Elise provided an overview of the check-in process to a new team member. Marcus meticulously inspected a refueling hose. Cody was already probing into the hull of a speedboat, marked for vibration issues. Quentin strolled around the perimeter with deliberate slowness. The gravel crunched underfoot in the same lot he had entered just 10 days prior, feigning the role of a weary trainee. He strolled past the shed and came to a halt. Within, the previously disordered shelves stood meticulously organized. The tools were clearly marked. The rags lay piled high. A modest fan hummed softly in the corner, directed at a folding chair. He entered briefly to affix a laminated sign to the interior of the door. "You truly deserve it." Upon his return to the dock, Dana approached him halfway and mentioned that she had spoken to HQ that morning. She mentioned that they are inquiring about our readiness to extend this model to 2 additional locations. Quentin gazed across the shimmering expanse of the water. A family was embarking on a pontoon, with Joel lending his assistance. Elise shared a joyful moment with a child grasping a fishing pole. Cody bent down to tweak an engine cover, already slick with perspiration. "Not at this moment," he replied. "First, let's ensure we nail this one, and then we can discuss further." Dana chose not to engage in a dispute. As the afternoon waned and the closing hour drew near, a man clad in a sharp polo shirt made his way to the desk, clipboard in hand. He presented himself as an insurance inspector, conducting a routine audit that had been scheduled months in advance. Elise summoned Quentin, who encountered the man outside. They strolled through the grounds side by side. The inspector meticulously examined the life jacket inventory, scrutinized the maintenance log, and posed a series of inquiries. Quentin provided clear responses to each question. Upon arriving at the dock, the man came to a halt. "The staff appears to be quite involved," he remarked. "That isn't always true for seasonal operations." Quentin responded, "They've truly earned that engagement. We simply ceased to obstruct their progress." The man nodded, his pen gliding across the clipboard for one last note. As he departed, the inspector glanced back. "Whatever you're engaged in, continue on that path. It's functioning as intended." Quentin took his time before replying. He lingered on the dock, observing as the final boat slipped in beneath the warm golden glow. He reflected on Elise's quiet resolve, Cody's tenacity, Alana's comeback, and Dana's unwavering presence. He reflected on Todd, considering how effortlessly an individual can disrupt a structure when oversight is lacking, and how swiftly the right individuals, who are both trusted and empowered, can restore it. No elaborate speeches. There are no grand changes, only a commitment to responsibility. Movement. Staying grounded, he felt the gravel beneath his shoes as he turned and made his way back to the office. There remained tasks to complete. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, he sensed that he no longer bore the burden in solitude. He sensed the burden was shared. He sensed the burden was shared.